It's hard to be, give off that type of confidence and be so under control. A lot of times that confidence is loud, but confidence is quiet. I learned that from Stephen Kwan. I have to give him a little credit. Anytime I'd be like loud yelling at him, he's like, hey, confidence is quiet. And I'm like, dang it, man. That was super wise, Steve. Golly.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode number 200 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media. Kids, it's a field trip. We're off to Dodger Stadium as we hang out with my Chris Rose Rotation cohort, Austin Hedges of the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's good to see you in person, dude.
Great to see you in person.
Are you getting liquored up before the game?
Mm-hmm. Game day routine, a little Irish coffee.
Nice. You make it yourself, or is a barkeep in there?
No, I make it myself. They can't know about it.
Okay.
But I guess now they do.
That's okay. Derek Shelton doesn't listen to this show. Or maybe he does.
Hi, Shelty.
This is kind of a cool scene. We're like 5 hours before first pitch, and there's some people just lollygagging out on the field, getting ready to do a little early work. Do you ever come out to a stadium and just chill for a little bit?
Not as often as I'd like to. I think I used to sometimes, like right when I got into the league, I would come and do it a little bit and try and take it all in a little bit. But man, it's nice. Sometimes I will do I'll do a grounding, and I'll go just for a little walk, bare feet in the outfield.
Really?
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. Apparently, there's a lot of science behind it. I don't know what it means, but anything that's like free, like I like doing the free stuff. Like they say, hey, go out, walk around without shoes on, and it's like you get all these benefits. So who knows? But
you're a major leaguer. Everything is basically free.
Not everything.
What does that mean?
Hits.
Oh. We're not going to talk about offense today. Okay? I put that on the back burner. I don't get to see in person enough. Why would I want to ruin a good episode? I don't want to do that. We're taping this a few days before the All-Star break kicks in. So this will come out during the All-Star break, and you will be
in Pittsburgh with my dogs.
What?
Those are like actual dogs, yeah. I have friends there too, but like my dogs too.
So not your dog. What's up, dogs?
Yeah, my dogs and my dogs. My wife,
Bruce Wayne,
Bo Jackson. Yeah, so we were thinking about we finish in Arizona, so we were thinking about maybe going to San Diego, but dogs there. And the other thing, when you're flying West Coast to East Coast, that's a whole wasted off day of that 4 days. So I'm like, you know what? We're just gonna stay in Pittsburgh. Do something we haven't really explored yet, so we're just going to take our time and explore.
So are you going to drive and get a cabin or something fun?
We've thought about it. There's not a whole lot of options.
What do you mean? There's the entire state of Pennsylvania. That's all they have are cabins.
But that means I got to drive multiple hours somewhere.
Okay, you don't want that.
It's a lot. It's a lot with dogs too.
I get it. What? How important is an All-Star break for just getting away from all this stuff? Are you mentally exhausted at this point?
Yeah, I mean, every day's more so mentally than physically. It's a lot of decisions to make, especially for a catcher. It's just day in, day out. You got to make a lot of decisions. And so for me, yeah, those 3-4 days, whatever it ends up being, it's a nice reset. It really feels. It's kind of weird at first because even after an off day, your body, your mind feel a little bit weird. Just because you're so used to playing every single day or showing up to lock it in every single day. And then you take 3-4 days off. It's it's weird. You feel too good. And it's a lot of ball players can relate to this where you don't like that you feel so good. Part of that, I don't know, it's better to feel just a little sore just to be okay, I'm grinding right now. That's mid-season form. So, it's a little bit weird, but the mental restart and then now we're about to play, not that every game doesn't matter, but now we're about to this is when the playoff push starts and we're right there in the mix, and that's when baseball starts getting real exciting.
How sore are you as a catcher in his 30s?
After games I'm pretty sore, but I've been recovering pretty well. So like I said, I think it's mostly the mental. It's shutting it down after games and then turning it right back on the next day. That's probably the hardest part.
So what gets beat up the most? Is it your hands? Is it your knees? Let's see. Oh, Christ. What'd you do? He's showing, for people that are audio only, he's showing basically a big-ass strawberry on his left hand.
Yeah, I slid into home yesterday.
Oh, you sure did?
I did. Yeah, I was flying.
You sure were.
I think StatCast had it at top 200 sprint speed of the season. And so I slid in. It's kind of rough back there, and So hands a little bit to answer your question. For me, like, I don't know. I'm cool with wearing the bruises on the foul tips and stuff. It's the ones to the head that those are the ones that make me wacky.
Have you had a few this year?
Yeah, I had a couple last night. It's part of it. It's part of the sport. But those are the ones the ones that hurt my body. Like, I'm like, the bruises heal. It's the ones that go to the head that I know. Sometimes it's difficult to not overthink them. You're like, "Ooh, man, like, what's happening? Like, how seriously do I need to take this?" Because a lot of times you just don't know. You're like, I think I feel fine. Am I fine? I don't know. Like, what if I get another one? It's a lot of things out there that not a lot of people think about that, more so than really any other position. Like, there's some serious head injury risk every single pitch.
Yeah, and I'm happy that as a society, certainly in sports, we've made enough progress where, hey, it's okay for guys to come out of the game. It's smart to do that. Have you ever stayed in a game when you shouldn't have?
I wouldn't say shouldn't have, but just wasn't really processing everything right. Like the only one, I got hit in the head.
In Cleveland?
In Cleveland. And I felt okay. So I went and finished running the bases. Then once I got back in, I just felt a little off, and I was like, you know what? Like, we probably should go look at this.
Okay. All right. You mentioned that the Pirates, this is where the playoff push starts. So the first 8 weeks, it was an awesome story. We're like, oh, man, the Pirates have added enough veterans and have some really cool young players to where this could be sustainable. Then you hit, what was it, a 10, 12-game skid. You've seemingly bounced back a bit now. You guys have to know that there's an expiration date on this, meaning that the front office is going to say, by this date, we have to be here, or we're probably going to unload some veterans. Is that accurate, or am I off base?
That seems like that tends to be the case. For us right now, we haven't even really started discussing any of that. I think just because our unit is clicking so well, like we just have this perfect amount of veterans and young guys, and the young guys are responding so well to the way guys like Andrew McCutcheon and Carlos Santana and Rich Hill go about their business every day. And you can just see these guys growing at such an incredible exponential rate. So for us right now, like, we feel like we're right in the mix. Like, this is a division for us to win. We've got guys getting healthier. We've had some bad luck with injuries. But at some point we got like O'Neal Cruz coming back. We've got some arms that have just come back. Brian Reynolds just came off the IL. Like, these are big deals for us as a group. And, I feel like these last few games before the break and then to finish out July, I think there's real high expectations in our clubhouse to, continue to make a push to win this division.
Did you call the league office when, once again, you got snubbed from the All-Star team?
I did get another first-place vote, though.
Good.
I know that. I know for a fact I got one first-place vote.
Did you and
eight consecutive years, baby.
You and Maley call each other and have you vote for each other?
Did. Yeah, Maley got a nice second-place vote, obviously.
Yeah.
As he deserves. Look at that Reds team. They're killing it.
Yep.
That's Luke Maley at the helm.
Yep.
Doing his thing.
I mean, everybody wants to talk about Ellie De La Cruz and McLean and, Steer and all those young guys. It's Luke Maley's club.
It's Luke Maley's club. Everybody knows it. Everybody in Cincinnati knows it. That's the leader. That's the guy that brings the boys together. And, males, if you're watching this, I know.
We know it. Let's see what they're bringing. Anything interesting?
Dodger dogs?
Probably not. Oh, wait. Is that beer? Oh, that's Tito's. That's the heavy stuff.
You see what Bednar gave Kershaw?
I sure as hell did.
How great is that?
What we were wondering, did he have that? Is that his traveling beer?
So when he made the All-Star game, which Shelty will hand out like a nice bottle. So like when Mitch Keller made it, he gave him like a nice bottle of something. The boys signed it, but Betty, Pittsburgh Yinzer, he loves his Icy Light, and so you gave him a big old, gave him a 30 rack of Icy Light, and I was surprised we all didn't just crush them all right there, but he sent them over to Kershaw. That was so good.
Because he took Kershaw's roster spot on the All-Star team, which I thought was nice. So did Kershaw? Do we know if he sent anything back? Said anything?
I don't know. I haven't seen the response, but But the message, Mr. Kershaw.
Yeah.
Mr. Kershaw is so good.
He's been doing it 16 years, so he is kind of Mr. Kershaw.
He is Mr. Kershaw. He owns me, that's for sure.
Well, get in line. Don't feel bad.
No.
That's probably what's kept you out of the Midsummer Classic, come to think of it.
It's all Kershaw's fault.
God damn him. Some interesting stuff has happened at the plate recently. I know that you were involved in a rough one. I think it was last year in Cleveland where they overturned a call in the whole bit. Did you see the Jonah Heim one this year? What was he supposed to do?
I think he did what he was supposed to do. It was too bad.
I mean, they overturned that one.
I know. It's there's been a couple of them this year that it's wild. It's tough when we have rules that are vague, that are kind of like up for interpretation instead of, I mean, it has this like definition. They always, anytime they show it on like MLB Network, it's like, here's the rule. And then like you read that rule and then you watch the play and you're like, that's not what happened. So what's going on? And I really don't know. It's a tough one to answer. I obviously had my thoughts about it last year. And I got reprimanded for it and they've not done anything about it. So it's kind of a lost cause at this point.
You got fined?
Oh yeah.
Was it bad?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was great.
5 figures?
No.
4 figures?
Mm-hmm.
High 4?
Yeah.
That's what it was?
Yeah.
All right, we are smack dab in the middle of summer. You know what that means? Everybody is active, everybody's running around, and you do not have time to sit down and prep a huge meal after running to the grocery store and chopping everything up, but you still want to eat clean and you want to eat well. Well, we have figured it out. Welcome to Factor. It is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. It can help fuel you up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. What does that mean? You save time, you eat well, you stay on track to reach your health goals as well. Everybody is too busy this summer. I don't want to spend all that time in the kitchen, but I still want to eat well. I want to lose a few pounds, but I want to fill my belly all in one fell swoop. What does that mean? I don't want to spend time dicing. I don't want to spend time chopping. I don't want to measure this and do that. Well, Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat them up and enjoy. Then you go back outside, you hop in the pool a little bit later, you take a late evening walk, you soak up the sun, whatever you want to do. So this company actually offers delicious, flavor-packed options on the menu each week to fit a variety of lifestyles, from keto to calorie smart, vegan and veggie, protein plus. They're prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians. That means each meal has all the ingredients you need to feel satisfied all day long while meeting your health goals. So simple. Head on over to factormeals.com/Rose50. That is, use the code Rose50 to get 50% off. That is the code Rose50 at factormeals.com/Rose50. Get half off to start. You'll thank me later.
Did you hear from the league office the other day when you guys had to play the Padres in a smoke-infested stadium and you were justifiably upset about that?
Yeah, it was weird. It was just weird, but I think what ended up happening was everyone just realized that this is kind of one of these new things that no one really knows what's going on. I don't know if you know right now, we're in a 144 right now.
Are you paying attention to this stuff?
Yeah, dude.
By the way, 144, you're talking about air quality. In Los Angeles, we call that a day that ends in Y. That's not that big a deal.
Yeah, well, they say at 150 you're supposed to cancel batting practice. Things like that.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's usually, it's like 150 cancel BP, like over 200 probably don't think about playing. But it's just, people are still learning like what that really means. And then, when you go outside, you don't even really notice. Like, yeah, it kind of just looks foggy. Like, so if you don't really think about it, you don't really know what's going on. But it's weird. It was a weird 2 games in a row of like you could feel like your eyes burning a little bit, a little sore throat. It's just, it's a new thing. It reminded me of COVID, where like this thing happens and people are like, we don't know what to do. We're just kind of trying to figure this out as it goes. And it seems like this air quality thing is kind of caught everybody off guard.
I would say that the difference is the air quality. I mean, we deal with fires out here. I mean, you've lived in Southern California for a long time. Whenever there is really poor air quality and there are fires all around, not to go outside. Like, we get that. Makes sense. I thought that it was unfair to you guys as players, to people who work in the stadium, to fans, to everybody else, to put the almighty dollar and say, well, how are we going to get the Padres back to Pittsburgh? Well, shit, figure it out. Figure it out somehow. Make it up. Or if the game doesn't matter at the end of the year, don't make it up. I don't care. Let's not put people at risk when they don't have to be.
Yeah, it seemed one of the conversations was like if we were playing like the Brewers in division, games banged easily. But West Coast team traveling that far, money seems to matter more than anything. But that's how the world works, you know? It's just how the world works everywhere. It's not just baseball. It's just the world.
So what would have happened? We have seen teams protest, not for something like that, but for other important issues in recent years. Could you guys have gotten together and said, you know what, we're not going to play? Fuck this.
We could have. We definitely could have. But once again, guys don't really know what's happening. Like, it's like you hear about it and you start reading about it. There's some things that tell you, don't worry. There's some things that tell you you're going to die. Just like anything, right? Like you go on WebMD, you're dying. If you go on iPhone, it was like, oh, go ahead. Do whatever. So guys just didn't really know. We got a lot of young guys, who they just want to play baseball, and they go outside and they're like, no, I'm in the big leagues. Let's just go do this. And then the other team, the Padres, didn't seem to have any problems with it. So we're just going to go play. And whatever happens now.
Okay. Was it fun playing against them, or are you so far removed from your Padre days now where it's like, just another team?
No, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun playing against them. I can't wait to play against Cleveland. Coming this year. There's still some guys on the team that I played with. Like, it's fun to see Manny. It's fun to see Tatis and Cronenworth, like guys I played with. Anytime you grind with some guys for long enough, regardless of if they're on another team or not, it's fun to play against them. But, you're just playing against San Diego. It's your old team. It's just sometimes you need little subtleties to make that day, that Groundhog Day that we're playing in, matter a little bit more. Get your juices flowing a little bit, because the sport can be tedious, and sometimes, it's another game, and it's tough to show up mentally and like really lock it in. And some of those things, like playing against an old team, can just get you going just a little bit.
So didn't Cronenworth come and there was a base hit? You get ready to have a play at the plate, and all of a sudden he zooms in front of you to grab the bat or something? What the hell happened?
Never seen it before. It was like, guys come get the bat, but it's like when there's like the ball's like at the outfield wall. This was like going to be a play at home plate. And it was like, I was like, what in the world? Like, it scared me. I was like, where did he come from? And then like the throw comes in, guy's safe anyways. I turn to the umpire. I'm like, what was that? And he's like, dude, like, I've never seen that before either. And like, this is a veteran umpire in the league. And he said something like, if the throw was coming in and it interfered at all, like something would have happened, but he didn't even necessarily know what would have happened. Like, who's out? Is Crony's on deck? Is he out?
You're out.
I don't know what would have happened. It was just, the funniest part about it was he just scared me. I'm like getting ready for this play at the plate. And I'm like, where in the world did you come from?
Did you talk to him about it?
Yeah, well, he kind of came up and was like, dude, I was just trying to get the bat. I was like, I know you were, but it was just like kind of bizarre.
Sorry, I got in your way there, Mr. Hedges. My bad. There are so many new umpires this year. There were, a dozen guys that took early retirement or whatever it was. And so now there's a bunch of new guys. Have you felt it?
Yeah, I have. They've been really, really good. I feel like the guys that have been coming up.
Whoa, what does that mean?
Like, I feel like the effort there has been really good. Like, they're trying to be really good at their job. And I love that. I just like guys that, like, you can tell that they care. They want to make the right calls. They want to have quality interactions with the players, and they want things to just flow right. And you can feel that from them. And it seems like this young wave of guys coming up, I've been really, really impressed with them.
Really?
Uh-huh.
You're not just saying that. It's not just bullshit catcher, like,
no.
Keep the umpires
not at all. Anytime we've had almost every guy that I hadn't known their name, which is rare for me to not know the umpire, go shake their hand, they introduce themselves, and I have a very enjoyable experience with them, and they do really well. I go back, you look at that iPad, like, these guys are calling balls and strikes at a high rate because they're really trying. They're really locked in. Sometimes when guys like take pitches off, it's easy to take pitches off. Everybody takes pitches off. So, of course, even umpires can take pitches off. And sometimes when they do that, just like a baseball player, you take a pitch off, it can cost the game. So it seems like these guys are really, really locked in for 9 innings, and it's been cool.
Are they better than some of the guys who recently retired who may have – listen, it gets harder to do stuff when you're in your late 50s, early 60s, even maybe a little older than that, to be out there every day, hanging out in the sun, your eyes start to go, the whole bit, your mind starts to go a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say better or worse, but just like it's just at least it's noticeable. Well, your eyes are on them because you don't know who they are, and you're like, all right, like, does this guy belong? Like, you're very aware when rookies come into play in the game. Anyways, you're very aware. Like, is this a big leaguer? Is this not? It's just little things that are different. It's like when you're watching Freddie Freeman play, you're not like eyeing him to see like, is this a big leaguer? You're just kind of like watching, like mesmerized by how good he is. Then like a rookie comes up, is like, is this guy gonna hang? Is this? And then you get these veteran umpires, like that's a professional veteran umpire that's gonna be here as long as he wants. Then you get this new guy that comes in, don't know his name. You start paying attention even on the bases and then behind the plate. Can this guy hang? Like, does this guy get it? Does he have the feel to be able to have a dialogue with a player? If things start speeding up on him, does he have the ability to say, like, hey, like, if I miss that, like, I'm sorry, like, I'll take a better look at it? Or is he snapping back at the player when the situation doesn't call for that? And it seems like these guys, like, they're really understanding the feel of the game, and it's been really quality interactions I've had so far.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Today's episode of the Chris Rose Rotation, sponsored by these guys over at Shady Rays. I want you to take on the sun with gear that is built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades at a very affordable price. Did you know that Shady Rays offers a world-class product just as good as any expensive pair you've ever worn? They got durable frames. They've got extremely clear optics. You look great, by the way. And they're going to help by putting money back in your pocket. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in the history of eyewear. Every pair of these bad boys is backed by lost and broken replacements. So what does that mean? Day one, you purchase them. Day two, you lose your glasses, or you sit on them while getting into the car. You call up Shady Rays. You say, I lost my glass. Mr. Rose, that's fine. Another pair is on its way. But don't you want to hear what? No, we don't want to hear what happened. We just want you to be happy and looking great in Shady Rays because we will replace them. We don't care that you left them somewhere. We don't care that you sat on them. We just care that you're happy. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the summer. Head on over to shadyrays.com. Use the code ROSE for 50% off 2+ pair of polarized sunglasses. Did you hear me? That's shadyrays.com, code word ROSE. 50% off 2+ pair of polarized sunglasses. You will never look better for not a lot of dough.
How cognizant are you of playing against guys who are going to end up in Cooperstown? There was just a big article. I think Jason Stark in The Athletic did a thing, broke it down into tiers about who legitimately has a shot. Like, we know Clayton Kershaw. We know Mike Trout is ending up in the Hall of Fame. Do you feel like when Freddie Freeman steps into the box, Mookie Betts, like, surefire?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because it's a conversation I think we have in the clubhouse, like, constantly. One of my favorite things to ask Kutch about is like all the guaranteed Hall of Famers he's faced and like all of his amazing numbers off of whether it's, you know, he'll be like, this guy that I think is incredible that's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's like, I see that guy great, man. I see that guy great. And he's just had all these at bats, and he has homers off of basically every big leaguer that or every guy currently in the big leagues that's going to be in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, then you watch some of these guys, like there's even younger guys than Freddie or Mookie that you're just like, I mean, my goodness, like this guy's on a level where, I mean, he just has to keep doing what he's doing. He's going straight to the Hall of Fame.
Like Juan Soto,
even like a Julio Rodriguez. You just watch him play. You're like, if this guy just stays healthy, like he's on his way to Cooperstown. And I mean, that's crazy. I mean, this guy's a baby in this league, but he acts like a grown man who's been doing it for 10 years. Like, it's really, really incredible what he can do. But yeah, I mean, you come and play these Dodgers, like, I mean, Will Smith, like this guy steps into the box and you're like, my goodness, like this guy's such a good hitter. And I mean, I don't know if that's Hall of Fame, but there's tiers of hitters where when I'm catching, I get to really feel like you can feel when guys they have it in the box. They swing every single time that you throw a mistake and they just take it every time you don't. And it's nerve-wracking calling pitches then, because you're like, golly, man, like I don't want to give in and throw you a good pitch to hit, because if I do, it's going to be a homer. If I don't, you're just going to walk again. And then you get them out and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so hard to do.
You can draft a team and you can pick any catcher right now in the sport to be your dude. Who is it?
Probably Realmuto. I think what he brings to a team is really special. When I watch him, like, he's in control of everything that's happening. Like, and then steps into the batter's box and is, I think the guy leads the league in triples right now. He's got 5 triples. Like, what in the world? How do you move so well? And he catches every day. And, he's got to lead veterans, young dudes, and I pay attention to catchers anytime I'm watching a game. Like, when I'm watching, I'm just watching the catcher. It's just, I think most guys do that. They just probably watch pitchers, probably just watch the pitcher. But when I watch him catch and everything that he does and how many games he plays, like, for me, like, if you're going to be the guy, you got to be catching 130 plus games, and he's one of the guys that catches every single day.
So what are the little things that he does that we don't see, that we don't understand, that you go, oh, that was good?
It's when I'm watching, it seems like it's the body language behind the plate when and pitchers just seem to just like, he puts a sign down, they're like, yep, that's it. And it's like it's a real quiet confidence. It's hard to be give off that type of confidence and be so under control. A lot of times that confidence is loud, but confidence is quiet. I learned that from Stephen Kwan. I have to give him a little credit. Anytime I'd be like loud yelling at him, he's like, hey, confidence is quiet. And I'm like, dang it, man, that was super wise, Steve. Golly. So, but yeah, that's what I see from JT when he's catching. It's just this like quiet confidence, and you can feel that the energy on the field. Like, whether you like it or not, when you're catching, everybody's looking at you every single pitch, and you're not having a neutral, effect on everybody. You're not impacting anybody at a 0 rate. You're either slightly or extremely impacting them positively or negatively. So when everyone's looking at you, are you looking in, feeling that confidence, and that's helping you? Or if you're feeling like a lot of loud movement, doubt, but you can sense fear. Like, anybody can sense fear, and you can sense when a catcher has some fear back there when the game starts speeding up, and that's not just impacting you; it's impacting the fielders, but especially the pitcher.
Did you ever lack that confidence? I mean, here you are. We've known you for a few years now. You've got this big bravado, huge personality. Was there ever a time on the Major League dime where you were scared shitless?
My rookie year, I was definitely scared shitless. It was nothing but veteran guys, from James Shields, Ian Kennedy, Andrew Kashner, Tyson Ross, Brandon Morrow. Like, our starting rotation was dudes with 6 to 15 years in the big leagues, and guys that had a lot of success and knew what they were doing. And so I come up, like, I'm trying to learn how to call a game, and I'm trying to learn how to, like, know what strengths and weaknesses are, and trying to make sure this guy trusts me, make sure he thinks I'm smart enough to even call a game. And so I remember, like, one of the times I'm catching Shields, and it was the first time I got to catch him. And he was like, all right, to make things easy, like, when you throw the ball back to me, I'm going to do something that tells you what pitch I want to throw. He was like, if I catch it with my mouth open, it was like curveball, mouth closed, fastball. If I tap my toes on the rubber, it's cutter, something like that. And so it's kind of started, and we're flowing. I'm like, oh, this is easy. Like, he's just going to call it. Then he starts, like, tapping his toes for cutter. So I call cutter, and he's like, no. You just said so. I watched you. You just said so. And he'd shake like 4 times and like start getting a little frustrated. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, just like, I'm more worried about like offending him, that he doesn't like trust me, more so than like even anything that's happening in the game. And basically after that year happened, and all these pitchers were amazing too, because they did help me and they could tell how much I cared. And so they helped me grow. And I bet it probably took till about September, and I felt like I started getting some comments. I was like, I can do this. Like, I can handle these guys. I can lead them through games. And then that was probably it. It was probably like the first like 3 or 4 months I was scared shitless out there catching these guys.
That's awesome. That's good stuff, man.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Rose Rotation listeners. Take your shot at huge wins with DraftKings Sportsbook. And right now, new customers can score $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 on anything. Baseball, basketball, soccer, Little League. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code ROSE. That's promo code ROSE only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races, all games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/baseball terms. Now back to the show.
So you guys brought up the number one pick in the draft recently. Henry Davis, drafted as a catcher. He was playing a lot of outfield. I don't think he's logged an inning behind the plate yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, so when he got brought up, somebody texted me and goes, oh, man, this is bad news for your boy. And I was like, I was like, oh, man, because I didn't pay attention to that he wasn't playing catcher every day in the minor leagues. When he came up, were you like, what's going on?
No, we had our organization's been handling everything amazing. Ben Sherrington, our GM, talked to me and was talking to me like, hey, we'd like to improve offensively. Henry's been killing it. He's not necessarily going to catch every day. We're going to play some outfield DH. And I'm like, dude, like we need offensive help. We need this guy. And it's been proven right. But in that conversation, it went really well. I felt like they approached me really well. And, anything that's going to help the team win, that's what I'm in for. And one of the things I take a lot of pride in is teaching young catchers the position. And I had him for a few weeks in spring training, obviously, but that's not enough to really, get to a guy and, help teach him some of the things that I feel like I can really help him with behind the plate. And now I've gotten that opportunity. So like every day, whether it's in the dugout before the game, in meetings, like I get to have little dialogues with him, before he's even logged an inning in the big leagues, with just some more things for him to think about, but also have confidence that the game's a lot simpler than it needs to be, than a lot of people think it is.
Okay.
Where like this position is not that complicated, and you don't need to overthink like what does the game plan say? I got to throw here and this or that, ahead, behind, even, 2 strikes. No, man, it's like trust your eyes. Like you've caught so many games in your life. Trust what you're seeing. That pitcher, and just flow with him and just trust what you're seeing. And so like little things like that. So being here in the big leagues, he gets that opportunity for me to be able to talk to him about some of those things. And I think the sky's the limit for the kid. He is so talented. He cares a lot, works hard. Whatever position he plays, golly, he's playing a hell of a right field right now. So he can pretty much play anywhere he wants, especially the batter's box. That's the hardest position in our sport, is the batter's box.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can play in that batter's box, you're going to play in this game for a long time.
Is he the catcher of the future here?
I think so. They got another guy too, Andy Rodriguez in AAA, who's really good. The entire organization, the guy that we have here right now, Jason DeLay, is incredible at what he does. This guy, I don't know if you know his whole story, but it's a fascinating story of just grinding and persevering to now be like a guy in the big leagues. He's hitting. He's one of the league leaders in receiving. He's learning how to command a pitching staff. And he's been an outstanding leader and counterpart for me this whole year. So like there's like off the top of my head, there's 3 dudes that can fully handle this job here in Pittsburgh. And it's got to be super exciting for this organization.
So where does that, you're a guy that has dealt in 1-year deals recently, right? And that could be your calling card. I hope you get a multi-year deal, but that could be the route you go. I've had a hard time recently, to be honest with you, like watching all these people that I have either worked with or have been contemporaries of mine getting, axed at ESPN. Like I sit here and I wonder, God, what's the future for me and something like that? Do you sit around and think about that a little bit?
Yeah, I do a lot. Yeah. My journey's been incredible. I love every step I've taken. It's just been this incredible learning experience. And if that means continuing to go on 1-year deals, like that works for me. Like if a team wants me, then, if a team's willing to give you a 1-year deal, that means they want you. That means one of these 30 teams in the league truly wants you. And that's the biggest respect you can get in this sport, is a team like wants you and wants you to play on their big league team and help you win ball games and help you make guys on their team better. And, I've been through a lot of failure in this league and plenty of success, but enough failure where I feel like I have a good message for young guys and especially pitchers that makes them realize like it's okay and like you can keep going, and like there's a job for you if you can find a reason for one big league team to know they need you. You just need one reason, and that's basically what I do on a daily basis. Is I got to give them that one reason, and the one reason I can control every single day is my attitude and how I'm leading the most important thing out there, which is whoever's pitching on that mound. And if I care enough for that guy to know how much I care, and now he's a little bit better than he would have been, and he goes out and performs, like that's something really, really special in this game that you can't really quantify. And it's probably my favorite thing in the world to do. Mm-hmm. So if that means each year going to a different organization and just giving those pitchers and that team some of that care, then I'm cool with doing that forever.
Was there a guy in particular that was down in the dumps that you remembered having a discussion with that you'd like to share, where you were like, okay, good. I felt like I left an imprint with this guy and maybe helped him get through something?
That's a good question to name one in particular. For me, it's happened a lot. It's happened a lot where, if a guy doesn't perform well on the mound, like you can tell. And most big league pitchers, like they don't really show it. So they're just going around their business knowing like it's normal. But the thing that we forget about in this game is like how selfish of a sport it is. So like anytime like you fail and you're like, oh my God, like everybody in here is like looking at me, like looking like, oh, there's Hedges just sucking again. No, each one of those players is looking at themselves, telling them how much they suck. That's what we do. It really in life. When you think someone's judging you, no, they just hate themselves. They're just judging themselves. We're our hardest critic. Mm-hmm. There's no one in the world that hates us more than ourselves. You know what I mean? And so like you start realizing that and start realizing how easy it is to just love them a little bit and how far that goes when they're in the middle of like just doubting and down on themselves. And so it's just there's really dozens and dozens of examples of just they're just little subtle conversations about like things that they can control. Like it has nothing to do with stuff, mechanics, this or that. It's just reminding them that they're a big leaguer. They got to the big leagues. If you got to the big leagues, you're something special, and you got to the big leagues for a reason. To remember what the reason you got to the big leagues is, and just continue to do that. That's that one thing. You just got to do one thing great. One thing great that the team knows they need, mm-hmm. and that's it. Like anything else is bonus. That's how guys become all-stars and MVPs. They have their one thing that turns into 2 or 3 or 4 great things. So, it's tough to give a specific example, but those are usually they're usually very similar conversations.
Can we finish up with the most important stuff? Talking about our dogs. Does this bother you? Trash day is tomorrow in our neighborhood, and I saw somebody take a poop bag and put it in the trash can that was not theirs.
I've done that so many times.
Really? Oh, you're the asshole.
My dog the other day, we were walking him, and my Great Dane, he never poops on walks. I don't know why, but this one day, he never doesn't pee or poop on the walk.
What's the point of the walk?
You're telling me. My lab pees 800 times and averages 2 poops per walk, and his new thing is he waits till we get in the middle of a crosswalk, and he just goes wham.
Right in the crosswalk?
Right in the middle. So I'm walking both these dogs. my lab Bo just takes a dump right in the middle of the crosswalk. There's cars. It's like a stoplight, like a bunch of stop signs. So he poops. I'm like, oh God. So I take him over to the side. I'm like, sit, like, stay, please stay. And like in the middle of cars, like I'm running in there, like trash bag, like picking it up, and I got to run away. I'm like, dude. But anyways, Bruce, the Great Dane, the other day, we're just walking, and he kind of stops. I'm like, what are you doing? And he must have just been holding it so long he didn't know what to do. And this dude just like exploded everywhere, all over this sidewalk. And I'm like, oh, I can't. There's nothing I can do.
Really?
Like, this needs a mop. Like this needs so much more than a trash bag. And we're like a couple blocks away from the house, and I'm like, I don't see anybody. I'm like, come on, let's go. Now and the next day it was cleaned up, and I felt kind of bad, but what was I supposed to do?
I guess nothing. Here's the other thing that really pisses me off. So Thursday's trash day. The minute the big truck comes and picks up our trash, our black can, if I don't get out there and shut the thing, there's going to be poop in there, and it's going to be there a week now. I would never put my dog's poop in a non-used trash can. Maybe I can give them, hey, if they pick up tomorrow, let it sit overnight, okay. I can deal with that, maybe.
So you're complaining about someone making your trash stinky.
Without my dog poop.
Dude, like, it's like you're just putting shit on shit.
Mm-mm.
Like, it's just stink on stink.
No.
Like,
if it's my dog,
what do you
shit,
keep your
that's
trash
fine.
cans in your house?
No, I don't.
So who cares?
Because it's not the right thing.
Why? It's just a trash can. Does it fill up? Is that one dog bag going to overflow your trash can?
No.
No.
Still, I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong.
It's not right, but
if you
it's
live in the
not
neighborhood,
wrong.
if you're walking your dog, that means you live in the neighborhood, most likely. Okay, maybe you're a block away. That means you just don't want to carry the poop bag for another block.
Absolutely. Why would you want to carry like that? Stink doesn't belong in the hand. Stink belongs in the trash
But
can.
it's a wrapped bag. What are you worried about?
Once your trash cans are out on there, that's public.
No, it's not public.
It's public. 100%.
But that's in my trash can.
No, but it's on the street. Public.
Oh, so we should just be able to take a shit in your car if you park it in front of your house. Is that what you're telling me? That's basically what you just said. So I'm going to come find your car and take a big old dookie next time I see you, okay?
Yeah, same thing. That's the same thing.
better lie.
Dude, you can take a shit wherever you want,
You
man.
better, yeah.
That's what it is.
You say that. What are you driving these days?
I'm not telling you.
Can I get the license plate number, your VIN? Oh, man. Sorry. Got off on the wrong tangent there. Mm-hmm. You're going to stay at your house when you guys play in San Diego coming up, right?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're doing our Friends Dynasty rookie draft at my house that day.
Oh, for NFL?
Yeah.
But that's way early.
It's the rookie draft. It's just 3-round, like, Dynasty rookie draft.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter. Like,
Are there any other players involved in this, or is it just your buds?
no, just my buddies. Just
Okay.
my buddies.
All right.
So I'm looking forward to that, though.
Are you in the big league again?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You and
Can't wait.
Bieber?
Me and Biebs.
Okay. He's paying for the whole thing, right? Like most of it.
He should.
Yeah.
He should. He's about to make his money, but he hasn't technically made all his money, and
He has
that's
not.
always his excuse. He's like, dude, I haven't even made all the money yet. I'm like, when you make your $300 million, like, fine, I'll split it with you.
Yeah, right. Okay. What else you got? Anything else? Any plans? Any concerts coming up? Anything new in that world that I should know about before we say goodbye?
I got nothing going on, man.
Just baseball.
Just baseball.
Okay. By the way, I think, is that Kershaw out there? Yeah. If Bednar wants to go feed him a beer,
Oh, yeah, there he is.
it'd be great if he was out there, give him a towel and a beer right now.
That's the best pitcher of all time right there.
Dude, it's the same. I'm telling you, we've been to Dodger Stadium to create content a half dozen times now, and it's the same time every time, and he's doing the same things.
That's it.
Same things.
All he does is put up a 2 ERA every year, no matter what.
He's got the lowest DRA of anybody ever.
Ever. So he's the best pitcher ever.
Ever.
Ever, man.
Did you ever click him once?
No, man, I'm like 1 for 25 off him.
Ooh.
Dude, I don't know how people hit him. I asked him, like, how do you see him? His slider doesn't spin like a slider. It's a fastball and just goes there. Like, dude, come on. And he used to only pitch to one side of the plate. Now he's pitching to both sides of the plate. That's not fair. He used to throw only into righties. Fastball in, slider in, curveball. Now he's throwing like fastballs away, backdoor cutters. We missed him this series. I was like, thank goodness.
Yeah, he's banged up. Yeah. All right. Did you meet your fellow cohort on the Rose rotation, Miggy Rowe, yet?
Just in the batter's box.
Okay.
I like Miggy Rowe, though. He's a hell of a ball player.
Good dude.
He is.
You guys didn't talk about the rotation or anything?
No, I'm just like in that moment, like I tell him hi, but like I really hope he goes 0 for 4.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to like.
Well, I was talking more about what it means for me and our company.
But like him going 0 for 4 is more important than you and your company when we're on the field.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for that, actually. I'm rooting for you to go 4 for 4 and him to go 4 for 4, and then you guys can tie.
You would be a tie guy.
I would be a tie guy.
Do you wish there was ties in baseball?
No, I definitely
You
don't.
definitely do, bro.
I'm so confused by the hockey scoring these days. I have no idea what we're doing at all. All right, it was nice to have you on episode number 200.
I'm honored.
I'm really happy we could do this, and God, it's so comfortable here.
I know, seriously.
Are you in the starting lineup tonight?
You betcha.
What?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
this 3 straight days? 4?
What?
Jesus. You okay?
Machine, baby. I'm a machine.
I was telling our amazing intern, Alden Stone, I was like, Hedges probably got the day off today. He could just chill. He doesn't have to do anything. We can have him for an hour if we want to. Now you're in the starting lineup.
we don't got a game for like 4 hours?
So you're good, right?
Good.
It's the middle of the series. You don't.
Yeah, right. If you're not prepared at this point, then you're not prepared.
Okay, good. Just throw it right down the middle. That's when Freddie and Mookie really do their least amount of damage. They're not expecting it. Okay?
In a way, sometimes that does work.
Okay.
But then when they hit it out of the stadium, you're like, oh, that was dumb.
Enjoy your All-Star break. It was great catching up with you, and can't wait to shit in your car.
Thanks, Rosie.
For Austin Hedges and our amazing producer, Robbie Scirocco, our outstanding summer intern, Alden Stone, thanks for watching our 200th episode of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media.